Hi, this is Kimberly. For those of you that don't care for the chit chat of mine, skip ahead to about 3.5 minutes of this video to go straight to the Little Boy Blue G-Man timeline. Sorry about all of the background noise. My grandchildren are making joyful noise. So the other day I was going to my hair appointment and I look much better now and I feel much better, but they had moved. So it was only my second time going there, and I'm driving and I'm almost there, and I'm, kind of driving like an old grandma just to make sure I don't miss the turn because my GPS tells me I'm there when I'm not there, and I have to figure out the last 2 or 3 minutes on my own. I've told y'all about Roxanne being an old windbag, but they had built a new Family Dollar, and since the last time I was there, I almost wrecked my car. Well, so I resolved then and there that on my way home I was going to stop at said Family Dollar, and they had this clearance section, and they had some $1 nail polish. I've been picking up some of that under the ruse of I'm going to use it for my grandchildren, but then I use it. And one of them was blue, and it said something about mermaid. No, oh yeah, I want to get this. Well, of course I had to try it out on myself, and when I did, it looked more of a silver, and I put a second coat on, and I'm like, I really like this. And then I'm looking at my hands, and right before my very eyes, my hands turned into my mother's hands. She used to wear silver and gold nail polish, and I wanted to slap myself across the face. I just had this urge. But anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all that. I thought you might appreciate it because it's me. It's the kind of shit I do and say. So another thing, I've been quite slow, or maybe just not as fast as getting out videos as I maybe was in the past, but ever since COVID, I have been babysitting 2 of my grandchildren a lot so their parents can work, but in addition to that, they spend the night a lot just because it's quite a long drive back and forth, so there's no point sometimes in them going home. But anyway, anyone with children or grandchildren around, young ones, it's hard to do anything besides prepare food and clean and try to just play with them and stuff, and all of that takes longer too. And then there's more cooking and more cleaning. And anyway, I don't have to explain it to y'all. Y'all know it's not just me and my husband for several months now. And last but not least, but anyway, hey guys, I just thought of something that I thought would be really fun for all of us. And I'm going to list it on I think it's called the community page or whatever, where I can type out a post or something. Would Kimberly do? Type out a community post or something? But how about on that community page, you leave your thoughts and of Chris and Shen, whether it be just what you think of him or a string of insults that you want me to read off, but leave what you would like me to say on behalf of you to Chris Watts. I just thought this would be fun, so make a fun video. I won't mention your name, I'll just read what you have to say, go on to the next. Read what they have to say, go on to the next. Let me know what you think of that. Hope you enjoy this video. Today we're going to continue the Gannon Stauch timeline series, and the day we're going over is Friday, February 14th, 2020. I just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day, Pizza and Egg. I wonder, does she do him over easy? So let's begin. The search continued on this day off of Highway 105 in Douglas County, just a couple of miles north of Palmer Lake, for Gannon G-Man, our Little Boy Blue Stauch, who, as the news said, went missing more than 2 weeks ago. The temperatures warmed up to be in the mid-40s on this day, which was good. It melted some of the snow. Gannon, at this point, had been gone for 18 days. Fox 21 21 News also saw a bit of activity going on Mandan Drive after a few days of relative quiet at the home where Gannon Stauch lived with his evil stepmonster fucking witch. Fox 21 News reported via Twitter, quote, a group of El Paso County Sheriff staff just pulled up to the Stauch home. They got into cars and then left. A neighbor told us he saw dogs go into the house, end quote. Well, that's clear. Who's they? A group of El Paso County Sheriff staff just pulled up to the Stauch home. They got into cars and then left. Is he talking about the people that live there and staying there like Alan Landon or what? Or the sheriff's staff? I hate it when people aren't clear. A neighbor told us he saw dogs go into the house. Fox 21 said our crew did see investigators there briefly, but did not catch the sight of a dog. Also on this day, the video that piece of shit did from the night before Gannon went missing, as everyone says. The one that Reality claims she accidentally recorded. It was turning all upside down and then went black, but you could hear the audio of it. And Gannon sounds hurt in this video and very scared. You can clearly hear at the end, in my opinion, that he coughs and then says, I'm bleeding. So yeah, it was making the social media rounds as people were posting the video on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and probably more. The affidavit read for this day, line 162, on February 14th, 2020, piece of shit, Letecia had an additional conversation with Mr. Stauch. Al told Pisa, hey train wreck, this isn't your station. Oh God, again, those are my notes, sorry. It said Letecia, can I just call her that? Piece of shit had an additional conversation with Mr. Stauch and provided 4 additional chronicles detailing Gannon's disappearance. Yeah, he just disappeared. And yes, we've reviewed these before, but let's refresh our memory, shall we? These accounts are fascinating. No, let's say they are bewitching. After all, escapee was going to use her witch's broom to escape her new accommodations following her induction of being an arrestee. El Paso Sheriff's Office believed she physically harmed, abused, and eventually killed Gannon when they were preparing this arrest affidavit. But her defense is plainly simple. She would never, ever hurt G. Her half-assed yet comprehensive tales of woe that insult our intelligence are as follows. Story number 1. When El Paso County Sheriff's Office came to the house on January 27, 2020, the abductor was still in her residence, and she tried to signal to the deputies that there was somebody in the residence. Yet you called 911 with this person still in your house. How did you pull that off? It should be noted that the deputies checked the entirety of the house and no additional person was located during that search. Story number 2. She was raped by Quincy Brown at her residence, and Brown abducted Gannon. She knew Brown's identity because she saw a paper and his identification card fall out of his pocket that had his name on it. Chit-chat sent a photograph of Quincy Brown to Mr. Stauch via text message. It is noted this photograph mirrored images online wherein Quincy Brown was listed as a most wanted suspect. Police believe that arrestee fabricated this story as well after seeing Brown's picture in a lineup of Pikes Peak most wanted fugitives. Story number 3. Quincy Brown followed her from Petco and at some point was laying in the middle of the road in front of her car. That was quite a trick. When Integrity stopped to avoid running the man over, because she would never, ever hurt anyone. When Integrity stopped to avoid running the man over, he jumped into her car and made her take him home, then raped her. Well, that just goes to show that no good deed goes unpunished, right? Story number 4. Pitt and Gannon were near County Line Road and Highway 10 South in northern El Paso County on January 27, 2020. Gannon was riding a bicycle in that area and fell off, hit his head, and then was abducted by Quincy Brown. In this version of events, Quincy Brown was driven by a man named Terrence. Yeah, 'cause you take your child bike riding when he has severe stomach pain that kept him home from school. Well, she was just having a string of bad luck. Bless her heart. Pity. I pity her. You know, it's only a matter of time before they add the word syndrome after Pisa's last name. Letecia Stauch syndrome. Line 163 of the affidavit reads as follows. The February 14th, 2020 story number 4 has several interesting considerations. Yes, I thought so too. During the period of February 12th through the 14th, 2020, it was public knowledge by virtue of media coverage that investigators were searching for Gannon in the area of 105 and South Perry Park Road in southern Douglas County near the El Paso County line. Piece of shit brought this location up on her own without prompt during a conversation and provided an alibi for why she was in that area. Honesty was adamant that the investigators' efforts to search for Gannon in that area would be futile. This area turned out to be significant based on the Tiguan's location on January 28, 2020, and that Gannon's blood was found in this area. Line 164 of the affidavit. Furthermore, as mentioned above, Piece of Shit drove through this same area in her Nissan Altima rental vehicle on January 31, 2020. Line 165 of the affidavit. I submit that based on raw data retrieved from the Tiguan, Nati was likely in the area of 105 and South Perry Park Road on the evening of January 28, 2020. And Gannon's remains were dumped in the vicinity of that area. I hate that word, dumped. Piece of shit story lays the foundation for a reason why investigators may locate Gannon's body with head trauma. End quote. On Friday, the sheriff's office confirmed it had 88 people working in Douglas County and that the department had so far received 516 tips. FBI evidence response team and search crews were scouring a private wooded property in Douglas County. Fox 31 reported that search crews with the FBI, El Paso County Sheriff's Office, and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office congregated around South Perry Park Road. Although there is no specification as to why searchers were focusing on that particular area, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office confirmed that officials started the search on Thursday and returned to that particular area again on Friday. Nicole Fierro with Fox 31 was at the site of the search early Friday afternoon. She saw search and rescue crews teaming up with FBI response teams, walking shoulder to shoulder, using shovels and very long poles to poke through dense snow within the wooded private property. Yeah, the videos of the searchers doing that, well, I found it to be very hard to watch, and I tried to ignore that the searches were more of a recovery at this point rather than a rescue of Gannon. Also, the sheriff's office did not give a reason for the expanded search into Douglas County, but we now know why from the arrest affidavit because of her cars pinging in that area. So far, this investigation had not been called criminal, and no suspects had been named, but they were not permitted to talk about who they knew to be guilty. And then there was some drone footage that was highlighted. We have another Mr. Wilson, just like Dennis the Menace's Mr. Wilson. But this guy is really nice. There will be a news story featuring this drone pilot towards the end of the video. John Wilson never thought his personal drone would ever be used to search for a missing child. Yet that's exactly what the certified drone pilot was using his device for following the disappearance of Gannon Stauch. He said, "I put blue tape on here for Gannon," and blue was Gannon's favorite color, of course. Mr. Wilson lives just a few doors down from the Stauch family, or rather did live just a few doors down from the Stauch family. He said he did not know the family well, but his kids would sometimes play with Gannon and other children in the neighborhood. Not long after Gannon disappeared, Wilson jumped into action to help. He coordinated with the FAA to fly his drone over the restricted airspace in his Valentine neighborhood. Mr. Wilson said Gannon is somewhere, but he's alive, and he'll come home. Bless his believing heart. I've linked his YouTube channel in the description where he posted several videos of the search in that area. Some of you may enjoy watching those to see what you could find or if anything looked alarming or suspicious. A few people did phone in tips based on his drone footage. Still, as of Friday, February 14th, investigators were tight-lipped about why they were searching in particular areas and what new leads they may have developed in the case. I don't think they had been tight-lipped. They had done many interviews, statements, and social media posts. But they really never said jack shit in those things, so they were given the illusion of providing the public with information. Let's say that. And to wrap things up all fun and shit, please indulge me as I read some posts, a few comment posts, and some of it you just may throw up in your mouth a little bit or roll your eyes, I don't know. And that will be followed by some news reports from Friday, February 14th, 2020. I hope you enjoy this video. This is an email that Al sent to Letecia, piece of shit, on February 14th at 10:06 a.m. And remember, he was working with law enforcement to get more information out of her. And Al said, Letecia, I want to give you whatever I can to solve this dilemma. You know I always have given you everything you wanted that I was able. Uncle Jeff is leaving for his flight like 11-ish. So can we talk then, please? And I don't know how this got into the public, but I have a feeling that piece of shit herself posted this somewhere to just prove that Albert was with her. Albert did not blame her. Bullshit. Yeah, right. Notice he did not ask her to be his Valentine. February 13th, 2020. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially in this day and time with all the technological advancements out there, that this boy has not been found yet. Geez, law enforcement, come on. With dog tracking, heat-seeking drones, night vision goggles, cameras, etc., satellite technology, water sonar, professional trackers, divers, etc., this boy should have already been found, whether dead or alive. All of the trouble the stepmom has gone through to make sure there are timestamps on everything they did together does sound suspicious. But if the stepmom is somehow involved, 2 weeks is plenty of time to have verified 100% minute-by-minute rendition of the events that took place before, during, and after the boy's disappearance, or 100% discredit her story. It doesn't take 2 weeks plus to follow up on trails and leads of what happened that day. So why is law enforcement really dragging their feet and getting to the bottom of where this young boy is and or what's happened to him? All resources should have already been deployed to make sure this little boy was found, no matter where he is, so he doesn't end up being just another statistic. If we have the technology to find heads of terrorist groups in the Middle East that threaten our country and this world that we find and get rid of, then surely an 11-year-old boy can be found, right? I would think so, yes, I agree. Someone replied, I had a bad feeling the first time she appeared on TV, but when she threatened to sue the police so soon after the disappearance, it's just not the behavior of a victim. It got really bad. I feel in my gut she has something to do with it, but with all the attacks and stuff like that, it has no place in a civilized world. Let's wait until we know what happened, until we make her feel like shit. I also agree with this statement. I myself held back until she was arrested. Excellent point. And this turned up in my searches when I was trying to find posts and comments, etc., for this day that we're covering, February 14th, 2020. And when I clicked on it, it's like it's been removed, but the thumbnail or whatever they call it showed up in the search, and it said new post from stepdaughter clearing up relationships. I don't know what that's about. It reads, this is from Reddit, the Gannon Stauch thread. Apparently, Landon's aunt has believed Letecia Stauch did something to Gannon from the get-go. I saw a screenshot of her tearing into TS, Letecia, piece of shit. T may have deleted her Facebook, but she is still up to some shit using Harley's account. Yeah, this bitch is crazy. And then I put my spidey senses to work and my gumshoe skills and all that shit. And really what I did is I used a different browser. Hey y'all, if you ever can't find what you're looking for when you're Googling or whatever, try a different browser or a different search engine. Mix it up. It works. Anyway, so I found the thread that goes with this. Just this part was apparently deleted, but the comments, I guess the original poster deleted their account, as you can see from the top, posted by deleted, with the part of the poster being played by piece of shit Grouch, posing as Harley Hunt 4 months ago, which this was all February 14th. And the rest of the heading reads, oh man, fresh from this morning. And of course it's deleted, but you do get a lot of info from the other comments. So this says, if she's so great, why did Albert kick her out when all of this happened? Everything I read about T is straight bullshit. Someone replied, apparently Landon's aunt has believed TS did something to Gannon from the get-go. I saw a screenshot of her tearing into TS, telling her she's headed for prison. Yeah, but they all seem on the same page now of he went off with someone. What do you mean he went off with someone? Even yesterday's press conference is lending to that narrative. I feel like every keep screaming they are looking for a body. I was totally on board with that, but with all of these statements and shit lately from law enforcement, coupled with Landon, and lastly adding T's word soup, I think with all his TikTok and YouTube activity, he went off with someone. Are they talking about Gannon's TikTok and YouTube activity? That was fucking T if anybody was doing that. Or she made Harley log in or something. Good God almighty. Did T make Harley log in or something? And someone else said, I wonder if she is on this thread and commenting. Someone replied, I suspect OP is T or Harley. Look at their post history and comment history. They're feeling out what people think about them, posting things mildly defending her. Narcissism. Could be because the shit's deleted now. I didn't get that law enforcement thinks he went off with someone. What I got from the law enforcement press release is they are discounting stepmom's statement to watch for suspicious cars, as stepmom made it sound like our kids could be in danger just like Gannon was, per her account of timeline. They basically shut her down, letting us as Colorado Springs residents know they don't suspect he was abducted. And to be honest, I don't think he quote, ran away. It's been frigid here with so much snow. We can all say every kid is different, but I sure as hell know that any 11-year-old I know that had the idea to run away would go to a friend's house and not try to weather these Colorado elements. This child straight up disappeared, and that just doesn't happen. Someone did something to him, and as we've read, witnessed in social media and on TV, stepmom is at the top of that list. Amen, sister or brother. Wouldn't police be able to track who he was talking to on his phone? Burner phones. That could be why they are looking in fields and lakes. What 11-year-old has or even knows about burner phones? I doubt he has a burner phone. Most likely, they have a family plan. I don't know. I think they were looking for him. Lots of kids get lost, especially in water. They were searching a new area a couple days ago, was trying to figure out where that location was from his neighborhood. I haven't seen any TikTok and YouTube mentions. What does the content look like? And I'm going to end the video here. I will pick up with these comments from February 14th in the next video. I just have some shit going on that I have to take care of. So it's either put the video out now or not at all, or not for a damn long time. You know what I mean. I've just got a dumbass doctor's appointment and some other shit going on, and I don't like it when I have to do shit. I love you guys. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned for the related news stories for that day. Thanks. Much love and peace. Thank you for listening.
Tips have led investigators to search an area in the southern part of Douglas County near Larkspur. Sky 9 spotted those crews close to Palmer Lake today. In all, there were 88 people out searching in the area. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office tells us it was just trained search and rescue personnel, that they're not using any volunteers in these search efforts. Today's warmer weather melted some of the snow in that area.
Search and rescue shoulder to shoulder, lodging shovels and metal poles in and out. Inch by inch of this Douglas County snow-covered terrain. Down the road, the same efforts. This crew has FBI evidence response members along with them.
This road's not even half this busy, just mail trucks and semis coming by.
A shock to see for Colby Williams working on wildfire mitigation for the county.
Yeah, I've been seeing lots of sheriffs go up and down this road and lots of vehicles with people in the backs of their trucks and wondering what's kind of going on.
Aside from people, there's the Jefferson County Bloodhound team and searchers on horseback. This whole area more than 40 miles from missing Gannon Stauch's home south of Colorado Springs.
We put in a request to speak with the sheriff's office this morning. Still haven't heard back from them on an update or an interview, but an hour ago they tweeted out that they had searchers here today and their tips are up to 516 tips.
All those searchers actually just left this scene here off of Colorado Highway 105 between Palmer Lake and Larkspur. They spent all day Friday looking for Gannon Stauch. 88 people searched for Gannon on Friday. There were searchers from the El Paso County Sheriff's Department, the Douglas County Sheriff's Department, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, El Paso County Search and Rescue, as well as the FBI Evidence Response Team.
The search takes a dramatic turn. The FBI joined local law enforcement for an intense search in Douglas County today. This is Larkspur, roughly 50 miles from the family home in Fountain. Now, part of their efforts included a detailed search of the snowy terrain. You can see the team moving through here slowly using poles and shovels. This search was limited to law enforcement, and volunteers were not welcome in this search effort today. Now, until now, volunteers were key in these efforts. This drone footage was shot by a neighbor who wanted to help out. Kelly Worthman is in El Paso County tonight. And Kelly, you talked with that volunteer about his work with a drone.
Well, Karen, he has been a certified drone pilot for several years and knew that his skills and ability to search from the skies would be helpful in this case because, just like everyone else in this community, he wants to see Gannon come home safe.
We did put blue tape on it for Gavin a while back.
John Wilson never thought his personal drone would ever be used to search for a missing child.
Anything that I can do to help helps.
He's a certified drone pilot and lives just a few doors down from Gannon Stauch's family.
I have 2 boys, and if one were missing, I can't even imagine what those parents are going through.
When his 11-year-old neighbor went missing, John jumped into action. He coordinated with the FAA to fly over the area in Fountain using an aerial approach to look for Gannon.
We're a good-sized neighborhood in the middle of nowhere, so everything around here is nothing but fields, ravines, huge creek.
John says he's flown over more than 6 square miles looking for clues.
So far, every single thing has been a piece of trash. A stick that really looked weird.
But sharing his video on YouTube allows more eyes to look for any sign of Gannon.
I've had comments from as far as the United Kingdom come in and say, I saw something blue at 3 minutes.
Even as the search for Gannon has moved to another county some 50 miles away, John's drone footage is generating tips for investigators.
There's been 5 or 6 tips from the videos that I know have been called into police.
And that has John holding on to hope that his young neighbor will be found soon.
Gannon's somewhere, but he's alive and that he'll come home.
Now tonight, the spokesperson from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office.
And as law enforcement devotes hundreds of hours to the cause, individual families, they're doing their part as well.
They want the Stauch family to know they are here to help. News 5's Colette Bordelon met one local mom who's been running a Valentine's Day fundraiser for the family. Colette.
She bakes for a living, so all the money she made from Wednesday to today is going straight to the Stauchs. And she's not alone. There's lots of people within the community who have been doing whatever they can to help show the family they care. Another day and another search for Gannon Stauch.
Just feel a lot of sadness, but a lot of love.
While Isabel Tejas does what she can to help in her own way.
Every morning, 6 o'clock, my alarm is set, I'm up, I get a shower, I have some breakfast, and I'm on it because I know how important it is.
She runs her own bakery out of her home and is giving any money she makes from the 12th to the 14th to the Stauchs.
I've had somebody ask if I could ship to Australia. I've had somebody ask to ship to New York, South Carolina.
Even though she's never met them.
You know, my daughter is 10, and I couldn't imagine what they're going through, what they're feeling.
It's not much, but it's something. And all the proceeds do go to the family.
Meanwhile, Alex Smith is behind the blue shirts.
The quote on the back is actually a lullaby that I sang to my sons.
The shirts cost $25, $20 goes to the family, and $5 is spent on supplies.
But I do know that if it was my children out there, I'd want anybody and everybody out there supporting us.
Doing their part.
Give the family peace.
For the Stauchs.
I would want them to have some hope. I know that the situation seems very sad and very lost right now, but there's some miracles out there that happen all the time, and I firmly believe that Gannon will be one of them.
Both Tejas and Smith say they've raised a little over $200 each for the family. Tejas says she hopes that money helps make sure the family doesn't have to worry about bills during this tough time. She also says if you'd like to make a donation, the Restoration Church is accepting them.
You guys, Gannon are still shining here in his neighborhood, even as investigators focus their search more than 40 miles away in southern Douglas County. But a neighbor here, they're focused on an area between Palmer Lake and Larkspur, using drones, dogs, and horses. Much of the area is on private land, but we don't know what led the sheriff's office out here. They say it's based on information they've received in the investigation. We're still working to figure out whether Gannon or his family have any connection to this remote part of Douglas County.